Hello, I'm presenting a short summary on my final project, which is linking colonialism to modern day. So the idea of America was founded when the Declaration of Independence was written by Thomas Jefferson. It told us we were guaranteed the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But in modern America, this isn't the case for many citizens. So many are discriminated against, and many times it's based on the color of their skin. If you are not white in America, you are not treated like a full citizen and do not enjoy the full rights that you are supposed to be guaranteed. But where did this attitude come from? Well, we can trace this dividing of races to before Jefferson's quill even touched Parliament. Thesis: America's colonial roots are still a part of American identity today and leads to the destruction of the rights of African Americans and other minorities. Today I will be focusing mostly on African Americans to better support my thesis with a more specific example of this. So colonization really began in Africa, where Europeans took over and slaughtered millions. As Cesar Ami said, we have to admit once and for all, without flinching at the consequence, the pirate, the wholesale grocer, and the ship owner, the gold digger and the merchant, appetite and force, and behind them, the baleful projected shadow of a form of civilization which, at a certain point in history, finds itself obliged, for internal reasons, to extend to a world scale the competition of its antagonistic economics. To put that in simpler terms, or in my own words, colonizers from Europe were fine with murdering millions to make money. They were fine with destroying entire civilizations in the name of their greed for money and power. They often used violence and terror to get their way, believing it was fine because they were the more superior civilization to these savage Africans. And this attitude of brutality traveled across the Atlantic as people were captured and sold in America. Just like colonialism, slavery in America destroyed the lives of Africans, even thousands of miles away. 12 to 13 million people were shipped off to America, where they were forced to work on plantations under threat of death. Slavery and the attitude of violence towards other races that come with it became a kernel at the center of America, and as Jim Wallace calls it, America's original sin. And I really like that term because it really shows how America was built on that. But with this sin, America became a superpower. America, the land of the free, America's power is built on the taking of rights. Because America was built on taking rights away, it became ingrained in our society. We changed the definition of race to perpetuate this original sin, even after the abolishment of slavery. As Ta-Nehisi Coates puts it in his article, Racism Invented Race, we decided that African ancestry made you, by God or science, property. And what is property? It's wealth. It's the ability to make money. Along with this, being property meant you were less than human. It did not have the rights guaranteed to all people. And so, African Americans are still prosecuted by a new kind of ruling class, a socioeconomic class, and classes that are built on the amount of rights we have. Because of the wide gap in rights that this created, it gave white people a false sense that they were endowed with more rights than other groups, just because of their skin color. This attitude has perpetuated the divide even further, creating what we call white privilege. But this privilege is not having more rights than others. It's taking away basic human rights to make our lives easier and make our lives seem better by comparison. And now, in our modern society, when this is challenged and African Americans take a stand for their rights, white people will react with violence and the threat of death, just like they did to control African Americans during slavery, and just like how European colonists did to enslave Africans in Africa. We, as the thinkers of society, must recognize how colonialism has never really died, but just evolved. Its horrors and the pain it causes have followed us across the ocean into modern day, like a parasite that we just can't shake. We are still colonists, but we are colonizing our neighbors, our friends, just to make our lives slightly easier. But all hope is not lost. We see people every day bravely standing up to racism and making it clear that we still have a long way to go before we are the land of the free. By standing up despite these threats of violence, we can help create more equality for all Americans. Thank you very much. I look forward to hearing all of your guys's.